So I do want to mention the whole pandemic thing. Of course, I don't like to put doom and gloom on our channel. It's entertainment. I want to provide entertainment. I want to provide content, and of course share some tips. I don't want to talk about everything that sucks in the world, because that's what Facebook's about. You can go on there and find out that the world actually sucks worse than you thought it did. Just to give you the heads up, we've had a couple of jobs cancel, a couple of big jobs, but we've also picked up 2 new jobs equal size. And my philosophy has always been, use good quality parts, don't charge too much. That way it gives people the ability to travel from far away and still get the price they would have got down the road. And it's worked for years now. Saying that, you might have seen that I've listed a few items for sale. I started selling more of the master cylinder braces. We started selling the titanium intake elbow. There's a few other things, and I've been selling a lot of stuff and trying to basically keep avenues open. So there was this stimulus thing for businesses, and I got some information of it right here. I've been chasing that. It was like the payment protection plan and EIDL, all this stuff. And the payment protection plan was something that I really thought I should pursue. And what that did is, if you was to supply the correct information and show all your tax returns, they would cover your employees' pay for 8 weeks, which would be massive. Now, I own the business, but I'm an employee of the business. The business is incorporated, so that would have covered my paycheck too. And I'll be honest, I started filling that out, and it was a lot of stuff to go through, and a lot of, basically the forms had to be perfect. If not, it would kick you out. And the more I got into this, and the more I kept hearing of the funds had run out, and this company got $20 million, and it kind of got upsetting, to a point where I said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I don't think I need it. It would be nice, but I've always kept the company fairly healthy. I decided not to apply for this loan because I honestly think we're diverse enough that we can sell parts. I can detail cars if we have to. I don't want to do that, but I kind of came to this country with nothing. I've never talked about the story, but I didn't come with a backup plan. I sold everything I owned in England, worked on the beach for some people that just treated me and my girlfriend at the time like just slaves, and held us basically over a barrel. We'll pay you this much an hour, and your rent is this much an hour, which ended up being like this. They held us at a point where your rent is this much, you make this much, hey, guess what, you work for us next week, and you can't get ahead. We didn't quite have enough money for food, so it taught me to be very thrifty in a lot of ways, hence why you see half the time I don't get a proper haircut. I wear LHT shirts because the company pays for it. I wear LHT shorts, I wear black sneakers. I'm a pretty thrifty guy. So I decided not to go for that because I thought, I don't need it. I'm resourceful enough to keep the company healthy and allow the small businesses that are really hurting from this access to that money. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to get a pat on the back, but it's just the way I really felt. If you don't need it, don't take it. That's just my thinking. So hopefully that explains a little bit, not to doom and gloom things, but we're doing pretty good at LHT. We really are. We've got some great builds coming up. You saw the turbo car we just did. We got two S2000 turbos to do, 2 more supercharged cars to do. We have a CRX engine swap to do, real nice build. My phone is going non-stop. This is when I put things up on Instagram. The phone goes crazy, and I'm like here till 11 o'clock at night trying to fulfill orders, but I'm not complaining because that's what it's about, working hard. Grind, get it done, make your customers happy, do it again the next day, do it again the next year, and of course it should continue if you do it right. So this is the intake we're making for the S2000. It's the titanium elbow. It's a direct replacement. We're making for the 2000 to 2009. If you look on our YouTube, you're going to see a separate video on this, but these are some of the things that we are making right here. We've got a few variations of the really blue ones and then the lightly blued ones. We're also making some elbows and intakes for the Kraftwerk supercharger. These are the 06 and up ones with the sensor. These are the 2000 to 2005. These are going out to AB, we're going to get these powder coated wrinkle black, and then have a handful of just like the raw finish that you can paint yourself. But I really like the wrinkle black, so we're going to send some of those out. Later down the road, we might offer these in titanium. So we showed you a video about our titanium X pipes for the Corvette C7. Well, we said we're only going to do a run of 10 because they're so time consuming to build. And of course the material is expensive, and to sell them they're expensive. I mean, they're a terrific part. I'm putting one on my C6. I like it so much. Well, just to let you know, we have 3 left, and that's it. Let me know if this is something you want. We will make you a stimulus discount, I guess what everybody is saying. We have 3 and that's it. We're not going to make any more because they're too time consuming. There is no profit in those. It's more of a advertisement piece and a cool factor in to get our name out there and have cool cars represent us, but they're not something that we can build. So once they're gone, that's it. So if everything goes well, I should be able to have this store up soon. This should be awesome. You'll be able to click on stuff and it'll give you, like, let's do a quick demo, see if this works. Esther has partly set this up. I've set it up a little bit. Look at that. I think there's going to be a drop down somewhere. I don't know how to do it. We're getting there, but we're going to be able to sell this stuff. This is exciting. Hopefully this works and I can figure this out. If not, I'll have Esther come back on this, but hopefully it's going to be a little bit more of an updated site. Talking of YouTube, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 videos scheduled. I've put a lot of extra time in trying to edit content, get it up and ready to show. I'm going to try and work on the website in the background, but I wanted to supply content, and I do appreciate you guys watching and subscribing. We're not exactly knocking it out of the park, but we are at 44,690 subscribers, which it's weird. We seem to pick up about 900 to 1,000 a month. It doesn't matter what I do. If I do 1 video a week or 4, it seems like average is just 1,000 subscribers a month. It's kind of weird, but it is going up, and you guys are giving us great feedback. So you know what, we're gonna continue and keep the thing going. So real quick, a couple of things I just want to talk about before we get into the action. A lot of people said, wow, I can't believe you bought another Corvette. It's a Z06, it's just like the other one. This, in my opinion, if you've ever had a chance to drive an S2000, this drives and feels like an S2000, just a whole lot more power, more brakes. You know, it's wider, but the seating position, the way you sit, your position in the car, the shifter lays exactly where it should be. Super precise shifter, steering is super precise, really good feedback, and it's a real driver's car. There's not a lot of tech. I mean, compared to the C7, there is no tech. There is traction control, which works extremely well, and there is navigation. And then of course, it tells you gauges, you know, temp, tire pressure, all that kind of stuff, but it's not that tech savvy. All right, 2006 S2000 here. Anybody want to scream out what it's here for? Look at this poor top. Looks pretty awful on this. It's an 06 car, white. These look so good in white. This car looks good in any color, but white is one of those colors because you don't see it as much on these cars. And gotta tell you, we work on a lot of these. So the top has got some really bad, obviously it's dry rotting, the stitching's let go. This, can't tell, nope, it's not a OEM top. I don't know what this is. The material looks a little funny. Honda tops don't tear on the stitching. We see a lot of those. We've done more tops than I think anybody, and I've seen almost every variation of how the top breaks and lets go. They usually tear here. I've never seen a Honda top lose its stitching, and I've never seen them go this color. It almost looks like it's mold. I don't know. I don't think it is. It's just maybe junk from the tree, but look at this thing. It's terrible, and it doesn't matter how pretty the car is. You can wash it and wax it and be real proud of it and stand back and go, wow, that's a good looking car, and you can't do anything with that top. You see, there's not a whole lot you can do with that. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this top off, put a brand new Honda OEM top with the glass back window. This car comes with a glass back window, but to let you know, if you have one of the early cars with a plastic back window, there is some extra work and labor and parts, but we change you over to a glass back window. That's something we do. This one is way bad. Look at that, which it's a good idea. It's been taped. Good time to do it because outside the weather is pretty awful. It's rainy today and just look yucky. It's not cold, but it just looks yucky.
Bay, like Pasco, Citrus, and Hernando, trust me, that's coming our way. And when we get that rain, that's going to screw up things on the road, even though things are light out there this morning.
Real quick, thanks, Mark, for the Gatorade. It's delicious. All right, so we don't need to take the seats out, but we do it because it gives us extra room. And it's always amazing what you see under people's seats. There's just a few bits of change and receipts, but you know what, let's do a quick clickbait title. Let's see if we can get some views on this. You ready? All right, so put my wallet in there, got a couple of dollars sticking out, got a phone in there. This is going to be the clickbait title. You ready? Alright, so we don't usually do clickbait. I'm just going to see if that works, because our videos usually get like 5,000 views. I really didn't want to invest $2 to get some clicks, but you never know. Look what George bought us. Nice.
Taking over this part.
That's it. Eventually we're going to just phase Esther's position out. All we need is one of us to look cute and answer the phone, and we've got it nailed. So, to our listeners, sound like a radio station. To our followers, thank you so much for the gift cards. This is the time that we need it more than ever, so thank you so much. We got George addicted to snooty coffee now. We can't drink the cheap stuff. Won't work. Alright, so we often get people saying, hey, I've got a guy that'll install my top for 200 bucks and a case of Mountain Dew. Well, this panel is not put back in. We found already screws missing. The clips that are holding the panels back here were all the wrong clips. They were just a push pin. We're supposed to have the one with a little wire tab. Well, this is supposed to clip back in. There is white clip. In fact, this is just bouncing around. That looks like maybe one of the clips broken there, but they're supposed to snap in here. And this was never installed correctly, and there's countless screws missing out the top. We're just removing the top right now. In fact, George is doing it with his gang knife, which just gives us a lot more access. We're not going to reuse the top, so there's no sense in removing it nicely. But there's a bunch of screws. There's a screw that you can't see it now. There's a screw that goes under here with a steel plate that holds the top to that frame. That was completely missing. At least the rivets are put back. And it's just, you know, there's a screw that goes down here. There's one that goes there. It's like if you're going to take something apart, how would you not put all the parts back? This is a little box that we use on the tops, and it's such an easy concept. You put all the screws in there. When you're done, that should be empty. That tells you put all the screws back. But we've done enough tops that we know what screw goes where. There's another screw right there missing. This is that panel I just showed you from the back. None of the clips are in. This is just flopping around. This is loose. This side piece was never put back. This, I mean, it's unbelievable. So the elastic always gets just destroyed on these tops, and this is a crucial part of the top. So we replace the elastic here with some nice new. Well, this is the retainer that goes on here. The rivets go through it. Well, the rivet goes through here. You don't want to cut this, or you don't want to poke a screwdriver through it, because it will make the elastic fray. What we have found to do on this has to be folded back the thickness of the little bracket right there. What we found is we have a soldering iron that's the perfect size. Go ahead and put your holes in there. Then it seals the hole so it doesn't fray. And when the rivet goes in there, the rivet will go through nice and clean. Make sure you don't burn your finger on the other side. And then we have our 2 holes. Alright, so that is a quick close-up of the new top. Look at that. Now, it's still rainy outside. It's actually borderline chilly. We would usually put this outside and let the sun stretch it out. It's pretty good already, but once the sun gets in there, it will turn a nice smooth surface. The wrinkles will come out of it. Turn the contrast down a little bit. There you go. You can see it a little bit better. But look at the difference from where that came in to a nice black top. Just looks so much fresher now, looks newer. So went ahead and vacuumed it, as you saw. It wasn't bad, it was a little dirty, but now it's clean and ready to pick up, so we can contact him and say come and get it. Well, it's pretty light, and I did like 2 or 3 passes and basically keep checking, make sure I'm not putting any heat on the paint.
We may or may not have removed. Now, just the difference here.
See that?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely, you know, that
Yeah,
it's obviously noticeable.
Yeah.